I'll talk about what we do. But Wednesday nights typically is our worship in small groups. Now, the past 2 nights we had Ash Wednesday, and so we did Ash Wednesday service and went to that with the church. And then since spring break is next week, last night we did our pastor. We have a pastoral intern, wonderful pastoral intern, Patricia Lund, spoke and did our message, and then we did neon night, and so we had about 1,000 glow sticks, and we played a couple of games. So if you're ever doing neon night, I mean, you can have these games and take these. So we did win, lose, or glow. So it's like win, lose, or draw, but we have I divided everybody in groups. So we had like 20 people in each group, and they all had glow sticks. And I would call out a simple shape or a simple object. So it was like fish. And it was the first group to put all their sticks together. So they couldn't just take one glow stick and make a fish, but they used everybody's glow sticks. And somebody had a shark. They had a shark with a fin and everything. So the first group to make we did fish, we did house, we did circle, which is actually harder than you think with glow sticks. We did cross, just simple shapes that they had to do. And then we did something about it keeps growing instead of glowing. But anyway, they had to create the longest line they could with glow sticks. So eventually you can't just be one person holding a glow stick. You have to spread out and get more people in between each glow stick to go. But it had to be off the ground. And so we did that. And then the last one we did was the win, lose, or glow. Joe, there's one more that's an active one that I'm forgetting of. Ringer on the Glowsy. And Delmar Pete is a youth director who has videos up of games. And so I got this from his website. But it was, you have this big the big stick, glow stick, like the big baton glow sticks. And so 3 people had those, and that was their team, and everybody else was on the other side, and they were throwing them. And it's basically Ringer on the Rosie, and that person had to move it to catch as many as they could.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I know whenever we've done glow nights, we've done something. We actually used your idea, the 4-ring circus.
Oh, okay.
Did that in the dark. We got the glow in the dark balloons. And so those are the objects you had to move from corner to corner.
Oh, I didn't know that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've done that, and then just glow in the dark nuke 'em with the volleyball. That takes a lot of prep because you outline the court and glow sticks and all that, but it still just looks cool, and they just have a blast playing that.
And we went and we got. I stole all the lights from our worship stage, like the bar lights and stuff, and set them up so they were in there. So it wasn't really a black light, and I like that better because instead of being black light, it's like a glow night. So you have a little more light. It's a little safer than playing dodgeball or something like that in black light. I remember we did a UM Army one time, played dodgeball, black light dodgeball, and you try to get it to glow, the balls to glow using putting paint on them, paint. And all it ended up is everybody having a necklace around their neck, glow necklace, and then having these balls that you really couldn't tell were coming until they were about this far from your head. And so you just hear it whistling through, and you just know you got to duck one way or the other, and the only thing you can aim for is the head. So,
that's not.
So, are y'all doing a church camp this summer? Like Lakeview?
No, we're not doing district camp. So I don't think our church here has had the longest tradition of going.
Yeah.
Like it's more sentimental to me than it is most people here.
Yeah.
But we're deciding to not try it this year. We were going to do something else. We were going to go with John Wesley United Methodist to on a retreat somewhere. We're going to go all the way to Junction, Texas, which they had it's a Texas Tech campus out there. And it was going to be we already went out there to visit it. It was going to be a great kind of place for a retreat, but they've kind of changed their leadership over there at their church. And so things are just kind of falling apart. So we're not going to end up doing that. So we're just going to figure some other kind of retreat thing to do. But I'm hoping that eventually we can go back to district camp because I think some of the changes and all that is just look like it's going to be too expensive. And then I don't know. I'm hoping things work out for it because I would like to eventually go back to it.
I think it'll work out. Well, I'm directing 6th and 7th grade this year, so I'm in the thick of it. But I'm excited. I mean, I like the fact that I don't have to bring all my sound stuff with me, and most of the evening programs are already planned for me. And
See, I love that idea of
Yeah,
that.
so
All
there's a
that
lot of
together.
stuff that's taken out that I normally I'm not worrying about cabins and T-shirts and name tags and stuff. But well, the reason I wanted to have you on, and this is where I'll actually start the recording, is to talk about a little bit about church camp. That kind of brings us in a little bit. So, Chad, I was looking on Facebook, and you had posted up, and you were talking about church camp or retreats or anytime that you have a bunch of guys or girls in a cabin, you're trying to get them to go to sleep. One thing you shared was kind of a method to get them to go to sleep. Because I know I've been in a cabin with boys, and it's just one comment after another, and you almost get them to sleep, and then it's somebody says something else, and then everybody laughs and gets up, and then they have to get up and get a drink of water and get back down. And somebody has to go to the bathroom and get back down, and they turn the lights on. Everybody wakes up, and all I'm trying to do is get at least 3 hours of sleep for the next day. So share kind of you came up with a method that you want to share, and kind of what led you to come up with this, and then how does it work?
Yeah, so I've been to plenty of retreats and camps, and it just sometimes it'd be you have those good weeks where sometimes I've had cabins where students, if anything, they just kind of bored me because they were just going to sleep before I even went to sleep. I was like, geez, let's have some conversation. But then there are times, mainly when I've dealt a lot of times with junior high students, and you just know this could be some of their first time away from home. This could be, just the idea of a sleepover just already gets them energetic. They just get to spend the night with like friends. And so, man, they just get riled up, and sleep is just anything. That's the last thing on their list. They just want to have fun. And so I've been in plenty of cabins where, and the funny thing is, out of all the different summers, out of all the different years, and I'm in there with different students, they're all like the same. Like, you always have the kid who's always gassy and just that's his pride and joy, and then you always have the kid who's always just like he's the one who's making all the jokes and he's going to make sure. But then usually he's competing with another kid getting the last joke of the night, and so that's where it just keeps going and going, and no one goes to sleep. And then I don't know. So it's just I would lay there, and then you'll sit there and try to tell them to go to sleep, and then they're just having fun, and so they just get caught up in it, and then it gets to a point to where you and other counselors are just pretty much just getting angry at them that they're just being disrespectful, because you always have you have a couple of students who are actually trying to go to sleep, but then they can't because other students are keeping them awake. And so there was one year I was with just 7th grade boys, and it was just a nightmare. And I tried to think of ways to talk to them about going to sleep and being respectful. Try to think of consequences and punishments if they didn't do it. And it just didn't seem like too much was working. And then one year I just kind of experimented with just, hey, how about just give them, and that's where I started experimenting with what I call the 4-phase rule. And basically it just kind of gives them a structure of, hey, here are the expectations for when you're in my cabin, and this is how we're going to settle down, and this is how we're going to go to sleep. But at the same time, it's not limiting them from not having fun, and it's not keeping them from having conversations. It's just a nice structure they have in place. So usually I'll tell them this. I'll tell them the 4-phase rule. I'll tell them right whenever everyone's in our cabin together. I'll go over other rules, of course, like, hey, let's not touch anybody else's stuff, no pranking, and just tell them a couple other things, no food and all that. But then I'll tell them about the 4-phase rule, and basically here it is the first phase is lights on and people can move around the cabin. So this is the time when you're going back to your cabins for the evening. The first phase is they are brushing their teeth, they are taking showers, they are getting ready for bed, they're changing. So as an adult, you just need to make sure you keep onto a shower schedule. Make sure there at no point is a shower empty. Just, all right, who's next? All right, you go in there. Who's on deck? All right, and then you just set up a schedule that way. So they can move about and all that, and sometimes they can even play games. They can play cards on another student's bed, or sometimes they just toss a ball around as long as it's done in a safe way. And but then after that, phase 2 The lights will still be on, but students just have to be in their bed. They can still talk at a decent volume. This is probably the time whenever the other adults in the cabins, they'll go and they'll take their shower and they'll brush their teeth one at a time and just take turns. And so students can still talk and visit and all that. So that's phase 2. And once all the adults have taken their shower and everything and they're ready for bed, then you kind of hit phase 3, which is lights are off and everyone still can talk, but it's just at a much softer volume. And during this time, everyone's still in their beds. You're getting them settled down. You can tell stories. You can just listen to the conversations they have and just go with that. Or you, as an adult leader, can lead them in a story, or you can lead them in a devotional, or you can lead them in a game or something. We've even played Mafia during this time, and that really gets them settled down, playing just a nice, easy game like that. And then by phase 4, which is usually well past our lights out time anyway, I just explained to them that we've already been up past our given time, and now it's just time for us to go to sleep and be respectful to the adults and be respectful to other people going to sleep. And we have a fun day tomorrow. And I just explain all that to them, and then just kind of adding something to it. I do add like a consequence of every minute past phase 4, which is lights out, no more talking. Every minute past this, I will keep you from going to breakfast. Like, I'll hold you that many more minutes going to breakfast. And once I implement phase 4, I sometimes just lay there completely surprised. Like, I've done it several times, and I'm just laying there. Are they really asleep? Like, I really, it's just quiet. And every now and then there may be something, but it doesn't carry on and just keep going. And so it I don't know, it's just worked pretty well for me. I've done it even with just overnight retreats with other churches that I'll be in a cabin with not even my own students, and then I've realized it'll work with them, and it's just a good structure and just a good way just to let them know that we're still having fun, but we do need to get some sleep, and here's just some phases that kind of help us understand that.
It sounds great, and it sounds like something that'd be easy to write up to give to your leaders, or if you're directing a church camp. Like if I'm directing church camp this summer, I'm probably going to give this to my guys, or even my Army leaders for their camps and stuff. Is there a set? How do you judge? Hey, now it's time to move to the next phase.
Sometimes you just kind of play it by ear, and I don't know. Maybe this kind of comes with some experience with. Because I know other youth pastors who are very familiar with this, they might be able to tolerate more of the joking around and talking more than maybe a first-time volunteer counselor at camp. But for the most part, you just kind of play it by ear. Now, the first, like phase 1, that's just you make sure they get all their showers done and make sure they all brush their teeth and they're change ready. I mean, you just make sure they do that. And that could be tricky and like herding cats in itself. But if you really just kind of work with them and you use terminology like, all right, who's on deck? All right, you're next. Come on, you go. And then, especially with junior high boys, that kind of gets them hyped up and it helps them be prepared for it. And then like phase 2, it's just once you hit that, then it's just a matter of when you adults are ready to go to bed. And so that's just up to y'all. But then the phase 3, so lights out and everyone can still talk, it's really up to you. I mean, that could go way longer than you had planned if you feel like it's just good, clean conversations and you're just enjoying it as well. But eventually, as an adult, you just have to be the one. You just say, hey, you know what? It really is time to sleep. We have a big day tomorrow, whether it's a mission trip or it's just camp and having fun. And so you just kind of play it by ear. I know there's been times I had to enter in phase 4 a lot quicker than I thought because just the conversations, and then I could tell that they were starting to get more rowdy as it was going on. So it's like, okay, I just got to put it into this right now. And you still just try to be respectful to them and just explain it to them. And so, yeah, I know that you just kind of have to really just play it by ear. I mean, one night at one camp, this is before I even came up with the phases, but man, we were just telling riddles to each other, like these brain teasers and all that. And we just stayed up like way later than we needed to, but it was just like the best conversations and the most fun. Like, and it was just, and everyone was just talking at a decent volume. And this was with junior high boys, and we were just having a blast doing that. And so I know if you get into that, you may not want to end it super early. You just kind of go with it, but at the same time, you just have to be smart with it and know when to. All right, time to go to sleep.
Something that has entered in the past several years with is cell phones and having those either for alarm clocks or sometimes kids use them for listening to music. And some camps you can't have them, some camps you have. How does that, or even listening to iPod music or anything like that, does that figure into this at all?
It very well can. I mean, if anything, I just usually tell them I don't want to hear it. So hopefully they have headphones, and hopefully it's at a low enough volume. I mean, just first for their own safety of having it loud sounds in their ear. I mean, they just don't need that. But then also just so it doesn't disturb anybody else. But for the most part, I mean, at the past few camps, they haven't had phones. But even if they did, if anything, they're usually pretty calm, and actually works out pretty well that they just they're not distracting other people. They're not keeping each other awake. They'll just listen to their own music, and so that's fine if that's the case, as long as it's not just keeping them from interacting and socializing with other people during the other. I mean, we don't want someone to be antisocial because of it. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't see any harm in it as long as it's not bothering other people, and especially like during the phase 4, I would tell them we'd better not have any bright screens flashing around or anything, because that's going to disturb people. So we can't have that either. So you just need to be smart with it.
Well, I told my guys, lights out is lights out. So that's not just the big lights above, but that's your screen, like that. So if you're listening to Spotify or something like that, listen to music, go to bed, it's fine. But that's not where you need to be watching your screens.
Right. Yeah.
You go on to bed. So, well, thanks for this. Like I said, I want to do it real short. I saw you post this up on Facebook, and I'll download that link and post it with this on Ministry to Youth, and that way it will be available there. And anybody else can also make sure and go to the TXC UMC Youth Directors. It's a long word, I know, but TXC UMC Youth Directors on Facebook. And there's lots of great ideas and lots of questions, people asking lots of questions for that. And it's a great place to resource and for people to send ideas in. And Chad shares some PowerPoint games and other thoughts and just random questions with that. So I did want to tell you, I haven't done much more on my yo-yo thing that I got.
Your Diablo.
Yeah, I play with it for a little bit. At Christmas time, I haven't played with it much. But have you done any more on yours?
Yeah, not as much as I need to. Yeah, I'm trying to do a ministry, or I'm trying to put together a ministry, and it'll be with some students and also just other church members, where we just share our gifts and talents with nursing homes, or hopefully even maybe even children's hospitals. And so I do like other juggling stuff, and I've been focusing more on the other juggling stuff than I have the Diablo, but I have a short enough amount of tricks to oh gosh. What's he doing here?
Don't let anybody. I didn't lock the room, so.
Dang it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't knock before I entered.
I wouldn't have let you in.
We were just talking about Chad was telling us how to make sure all your boys in your room get quiet.
Yeah. What's your
Jordan, where are you at right now? Are you at the Ark, or are you at?
I am at the church.
Where is that? Where is your office?
Okay, so my office is next to the youth room. Also, I would show you, if I open these blinds right now, Trinity Valley cheer team is practicing in the gym, and I don't want to look like a creep because I have to interact with those boys and girls. But the gym is over there, the youth room is over there, hallway is behind me.
Okay, so you're in the new building.
Yes.
What? It wasn't there when I was there. So my office was up. You know where the choir room is off the sanctuary?
Vaguely.
So go to the sanctuary, and there's a hallway. The back hallway goes to the sanctuary, off the side, not the main entrance. My office was to the left there when you first walk in. It was my office, and then Kathy's office way back in the back there.
Okay.
I had a little small when you first walked in that side entrance. So just to the left there was my office.
Okay, right on. Nice.
So,
Yeah. Kathy just retired like a month ago.
I saw that.
She saw that you were there, and she was like, "Oh no!"
I told her he's coming. So,
Pass.
well, how's Athens?
Athens is good. I'm just trying to get everything situated, like balancing both the youth and the college stuff is overwhelming at times. Yeah, so I'm just working on getting some stuff for the summer. I've got a lock-in coming up. Yay!
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I know. Is that your idea or is that a tradition?
I'm going to score major points by doing this lock-in. So
I know it's a risky move.
I will pay those.
Yeah.
No, actually, we are doing a lock-in. We are actually going. My kids were excited. I finally caved. But we're going to a place called Group Dynamics in Dallas, and they have indoor group building games and stuff. And so it's indoor. It's like the zip lines and rock climbing. Yeah, Chat. You mean Alec, Jordan? You're probably close enough to make this. It's in Carrollton, so it wouldn't be like a short trip, but it would still be possible for you.
What's it called?
Group Dynamics, Dynamix. And they do group building. They do like the crate stack where you have your harness, but you have to like, apparently you keep putting milk crates up and see how high you can climb on them, which I saw that. They have indoor zip lines, blacklight dodgeball, archery tag, and they do the lock-in for you. So I'll go there. I'll be part with my group, but they run the stuff. And so I said, I'm going to get some parents who will come pick us up and drop us off. And I have parents who would rather drive 3 hours than stay up all night for a lock-in. And I was like, I will do that. That'll be awesome. And so they'll probably drive in and get a hotel and spend the night and then drive us back. So that way we're not driving when we're tired, but I get to do a lock-in and it's not at my church and I get to do all this stuff with the kids and stuff, and I'll stay up and everything like that. But that way it's not as draining as a lock-in usually is.
That's really cool. That sounds awesome. I'll have to I might hook that up in the summer. So we're doing one.
I need to see if there's anything similar to that around here.
Yeah, there should be. They have rock climbing.
You're near Houston, the greatest city in the world.
Yeah. But yeah, I know this this Sunday we're doing hide and seek in the church, so that's like Disney World to a lot of the students. So.
Hide and seek. Yeah, our Sunday night. We were talking about our Sundays and our Wednesdays and everything. And we still do, Wednesday nights we do our discipleship and worship and stuff, and then Sundays we do the other stuff, mission and fellowship. And so we've done everything. I guess past couple of weeks we've had a couple of open gyms, and actually those that started off. I was like, well, we just need something to do, and they started off turning out being really good because it's a chance that I get to hang out with them, because on Wednesday nights I don't get to hang out with anybody. I mean, I have a few people, but pretty much we're doing dinner and then we do worship and then we do small groups and do games. And so I don't really get to connect or talk with any students much at all. And then so on Sundays, actually with these open gym times, I actually have time to play ping pong, play carpet ball, play Foursquare in the air, hang out and do stuff. So those are really good. And then we have, mission projects where we just got Texarkana just got 2 trampoline parks at one time. So we have 2 places building trampoline parks in here. So we'll go there and we'll go bowling and stuff like that. But so good to hear everything's going good for you, Jordan. We just did a real short hangout. Chad was sharing 4 ways to get your kids to go to sleep at night.
It follows chloroform.
Yes,
and
Benadryl, and it's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if y'all have known or if you have any interest in listening, but there's now a Ministry to Youth podcast.
I listened to your one about your first one, I guess, about the
worship stuff,
staying in ministry longer at the church.
Oh yeah.
I listened to that one. That was something that I think a lot of people need to hear, and including me, because I haven't been in a church longer than 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
there's a lot of truth.
What I'll do with this, actually, I mean, I'll send it to Eddie to put up on the other one, but I'll probably take this and cut a clip and introduce it, and then have you do your deals on that, because I was going to start taking just another way to rebrand what we're doing here as in a different form. And so sometimes people can listen and they can't watch. So I know I'll play a podcast and have them playing in the background, or especially when I drive, especially when I'm going to Houston or something like that. I'll listen to podcasts. So I just queue a whole bunch of them up and steal a bunch of ideas from all those guys. So anyway, I have something I have to tear down and set up. I'm going to stop the broadcast.